Chapter 14. Chemotherapy. The biggest killer in the United States is the treatment. We respond to cancer by killing the patient with chemotherapy and radiation, which destroys the immune system and opens the door to even more cancer. This is a quote from The Perception Deception by David Icke. Gleevec, a drug that is used to treat leukemia in the United States, costs $70,000 a year there, but do you know how much it costs in India? $2,500. Due to United States patents, this cost of $70,000 exists in order to stop other manufacturers from making lower-costing versions and then selling them to those who need it. In July 2016, India's highest court rejected an application to patent the cancer drug. This potentially could have sent the price of it soaring. India, China, Indonesia and the Philippines have adopted measures that allow them to circumvent patents in order to give their people access to an important cancer-fighting drug. These governments have rejected patent applications and have granted compulsory licenses which allow their drug companies to produce versions of this medication despite patents by the original makers. According to The Atlantic, the fight over cancer drugs in India exposes a fundamental tension in the way we fund pharmaceutical R&D. Patents allow pharmaceutical firms to charge high prices for drugs for a limited period of time to recoup their investment in R&D. This results in more of the drugs that we need, but makes them less accessible to those who need them. The tension becomes greater in the global context because the income disparities between developed and developing country patients are so vast. At the end of the day, it is the government-enforced protected patents that enable the drug manufacturers the ability to charge exorbitant prices, supposedly in order to fund their R&D. Where is the compassion? In 2008, the journal PLOS Medicine published that pharmaceutical companies spend nearly twice as much money on marketing in the United States than they do on R&D. Patents allow companies to make more money, and the people of the United States pay twice as much for the same drugs as used in other countries. According to Chemotherapy.com, Gleevec, which is used to treat leukemia, also kills heart muscle cells, which could cause fatal congestive heart failure. The National Confidential Inquiry into Patient Outcome and Death, NCPOD, found through a study that more than 4 in 10 patients who received chemotherapy toward the end of their life experienced potentially fatal effects. They reviewed data from over 600 cancer patients that died within 30 days of their treatment, and it was found that chemotherapy hastened or caused death in 27% of all cases. This apparently is the premier cancer treatment, but has an average 5-year survival success rate of just over 2% for all cancers, according to a study published in the journal Clinical Oncology. Chemo destroys healthy cells throughout the body as well as cancerous cells, which to me says that it's going to lead to an accelerated death rather than prolonging your life. Multiplying and dividing cells are found in hair follicles, reproductive system, digestive system and bone marrow. Chemo unleashes a more aggressive, treatment-resistant type of cancer to wreak havoc. According to a Berkeley doctor, people die from chemotherapy and not the cancer itself. Dr. Hardin B. Jones, a former professor of medical physics and physiology at the University of California, Berkeley, discussed in a video that leading-edge cancer treatment is a sham. He studied the life expectancy of patients for more than 25 years and came to a conclusion that chemo does much more harm than good. People who refused chemotherapy treatments live on average 12.5 years longer than people who are undergoing chemotherapy, according to a publication in the New York Academy of Science. People who accepted chemotherapy die within 3 years of diagnosis. A large number dies immediately after a few weeks. He concluded that the only reason that chemotherapy is prescribed is because doctors make money from it. Treatments on average range between $300,000 to $1 million per treatment. Patients with breast cancer who reject conventional therapy live 4 times longer than those who follow the system. So this is something that you will not hear in the mass media, which will continue to carry the myth that this is the best chemotherapy drug in the fight against cancer. Chemo kills the healthy cells sooner than it affects the cancerous cells, and therefore the body is left weakened and defenseless against the disease. It is not the cancer that kills the victim, it's the breakdown of the defense mechanism that eventually brings death. There are alternatives. Doctors A. Hoffer and Linus Pauling found that if cancer patients followed a regimen of vitamins and minerals, they had a 4 times longer survival time compared to patients that didn't follow their protocol. This regimen included a daily dose of 12 grams vitamin C, vitamin B3, B6 and other B vitamins, folic acid, vitamin E, beta-carotene, selenium, zinc and sometimes other minerals. The American Cancer Society published Jones' presentation from the 11th Science Writers Seminar. A report on cancer delivered these conclusions. There is a strong link between carcinogens and cancer. The more a person was exposed to a carcinogen, the higher the risk of developing cancer. Different carcinogens have a slightly different effect and time frame, but the stronger the individual dose of carcinogen is, the less time it takes for cancer to develop. Surgery and radiation survival data is biased and faulty. In 2012 and early 2013, research revealed that far from curing cancer, chemotherapy made it grow faster. The team at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle found that chemotherapy triggered the body to release a protein called WNT16B, which boosts the survival and growth of cancer cells. This is a quote by David Icke from The Perception Deception.